It's about 71, 72 degrees. It's probably going to be about 83 today. So, there's what the shop looks like without the smoke. And there's some old bandits I'm working on some year. Got 3 of them. Mr. Green is in here waiting for me. So what we're going to do today is go ahead and do the, I haven't got anything tied down yet. I haven't just turned on everything. Yep, 10 o'clock. I've got some light. And very low humidity, and it's 70.2 degrees. We're going to have good conditions today to do, you know, some pretty accurate horsepower checking numbers. Here's all the dyno mules. We'll be trying the 17-inch street core that's on the bike. This is with the Holeshot Lextek 4-2-1 header that you've been seeing in my other videos. And what we're doing is the bike is bone stock with the stock air filter. The O2 is connected. So we'll check the air fuel and just see how bad it is. Okay, I bet it's not that bad, other than it probably still goes rich up on top. And I know there's a lot of other restrictions, blah, blah, blah. But apples and apples. So we already did the stock bike pulls. You've seen that video. We can probably go over those at the end of the day here. And then we'll try my street core 17 and 14. Okay, and then we're going to go with the 10-inch bad boy comp muffler. I also have a 14, but it makes the same power as the 10. So we'll see how much time and how much noise I want to make for my neighbors that have horses. I have a room in a room. I built this dyno room. It's double thick insulated, and so it's a room in a room in my 4-car garage. That's my 1LE Camaro 2018 Gen 6 that I track. So I can shut the door. I can shut this door here. I use conventional fans. I've got 3, 1 big one, 2 fans, and then I have a wall air conditioner. And when the temperature in here is, you know, as long as it's not 95 degrees, I can control the room pretty good. I usually do about 4 pulls, do about a 12-minute cool down or so. Try to keep that accurate so I can keep the temperature. I try to keep the temps within, you know, 2 to 3 degrees, but sometimes it's impossible. So what this does is I use one of these to draw the exhaust out so I don't get asphyxiated in here. I've got roof vents through the attic and fresh air blowing in from the outside. Fairly small room, works pretty good. And then what I have, and of course it's locked. I'll just show you real quick. I have my, basically a garden shed right here. It's all enclosed. If I can open the damn door, I should have done this already. I wasn't even going to show you this, but what the heck. There we go. So, anyway, what I have here is my giant squirrel cage fan right through the wall. Down here, I don't use it anymore, but that used to be hooked on here. There's a 55-gallon drum buried in the ground with holes punched in it in a drain rock, about 5 feet in the ground, and then the exhaust comes up like this, and it's an addition. That's just an additional muffler, but I don't really need it, so it just blows in here, fills this whole thing up, and out the vents they go. So that's my muffler system, how that works. All right, so I'm going to get started setting everything up and get going, and I'll make some little videos in between here and kind of talk to you about things, what's going on. All right, cool, man. Talk to you soon. Hey guys, it's me. I'm in here by myself, so hope you can see me. Anyway, I've been starting the pulls, testing the header with the different mufflers. I did the 17 street core, and I had to get the room up to temperature. Right now it's about 80 degrees, 80, 81 degrees in here. which is good. It's low humidity in the high teens, 113 to 18, which is good up here for the dry air. Anyway, the 17 street core, what stock, the bike made it right around 100, a little under 101. I'll show you the charts. I think it was 67 or so foot-pounds. And the 17 street core, a real long one, it's a little more restrictive. I still made 105 and I think 106 horsepower once I got everything up to temp. It seems like the thing makes the best power as far as the heat of the engine. If I can start at like 3 bars on the heat gauge and then finish on the 4th bar, not 5th where it's turning on the fan, getting real hot. It makes sense. So I'm trying to keep everything pretty consistent. So anyway, I just did a pull with the 10-inch bad boy that whipped ass. That's my comp core that's in there that I designed. It's a special core. It's not just a perfectly round core. Twice I made 109 and I broke 70 foot-pounds once. And so anyway, it's still on here. I'm going to do a second session with the 10-inch bad boy just so you can hear that thing sing. It's pretty neat. And nothing done yet. Still all the electronic limits and the tuning is going rich up on top. So let's make a pull. All right. Yeah, so what's nice is I started out that time the heat bars on 2, so then it was at 3, so it stayed between 3 bars and 4 bars. That's kind of like when you're out on the road, unless you're idling around, of course, in hot weather. So anyway, it just repeated, I think, 109. Anyway, I'll show you the charts later. But that's it for that one. Now I'm going to try, because pretty soon it's going to be too hot in here. I want to keep it consistent within a couple degrees. Right now we're at 80.4 degrees. Every time I've had it between 79 to 80.6 degrees. The humidity 14 to 18%. If you start fluctuating more than 3, 4, 5 degrees, you know, kind of piss it in the wind. So this is pretty accurate. We're going to put on the 14 street core because the 14 comp will make the same power as this. The 4-inch doesn't make any difference with the comp core. Let's see what the 14 street does. Okay, like I say, later I'm going to show you the charts. Okay guys, we got the 14 street core on the bike. It's been exactly about a 10-minute cool down. It's 80.8 degrees in here, 13%. We got 3 bars on the bike. Let's do some pulls with the 14 street real quick while all the conditions are equal. Okay, see me? Pretty darn good. So the 17 Touring, even though it's free-flowing, being longer, it's still more restricted just from the turbulence going through the longer muffler. But I still made 105, 106 best, 100 best. You gotta remember also, go look at a bunch of stock Dyno charts or just headers stuck on these. You gotta remember, I'm at 4,450 feet, almost 4,500 feet here. And for this thing to make 109 horsepower here, it's pretty damn stout, I'll tell you that. I am at least 2 to 3 horsepower down from my dyno rim in California, where I lived for years. It was only a couple miles from the ocean, had good air. It was great, dyno rim. Here is still pretty good because it's dry here, but you know, I'm still up. For example, the drag strip, mom and pop strip over here, is a full half-second slow. I've taken some of my street bikes and different bikes that I ran already down 3 hours away in Sacramento, full half-second slow up here. So for this thing to bang out 109, actually nothing done yet, it's pretty freaking impressive for here. The 14 street core is a slightly smaller core, louver core I designed. Again, it's the louvers, how they're designed and stuff. I worked on it for years. And this core, 14, which is more subtle when you're just cruise on the street, it just made 108, 107, and 107.95. So only down about 1 horsepower. That's pretty impressive for my best core, comp in a 10-inch battery. So, like I said, that's the one I'll run on my own bike. You ain't gonna tell 1.5
try to defeat. Okay? But anyway, that's it. What I think I'll do is I'll move the camera, and I'll do three more pulls here, just so you can see the gauges and the air fuel on the right-hand side, just for fun. And then we'll go in and I'll go into analyzing the charge and all of this stuff. Okay? I didn't do the 14 comp. It matches. It'll beat this one just like the 10-inch, 1 horsepower, maybe 1.5. You know. So I'm not going to keep running off and piss off my neighbors anymore. So, all right. So I'll move the camera. We'll do 3 more pulls so you can watch the screen. Hope you're enjoying the show. All right, guys. So I don't use the dyno numbers as far as the humidity and the temperature, because it's under the box in the dyno, and I use a weather station in the room. I just like using that better, so disregard this stuff. Here's your air fuel over here. This is your brake. I don't have the brake on at all. We're doing roll-ons. I'm starting at 2,000 RPM on the tack on the bike, as accurate as I can. We're using 5th gear. Traction control is turned off, but it's all flashing because it goes ballistic anyway when the front wheel's not spinning, and then you got to clear all the codes. I'm going to show you what I do with that on another video. Okay, and over here is your miles per hour you can watch, and then the tack when it hits the rev limiter. This is real RPM. A tack on the bike, almost every bike, it's about 400 or 500 RPM higher than the actual limit. But that's okay too, you know. When you run this thing and you're shifting it like 10.3 or 10.4 before it hits the rev limiter on the tack on the bike, it's still revving it plenty high. Matter of fact, you won't really ride like that hardly ever. So we're going to see what I do with either just tuning or electronics also. I might just try tuning first, and I have my reasons, so I'll talk about that later. So anyway, here you go. And what also is nice, when I started, if you watch some of the stock dyno pulls, when I'm idling, it's clear at 18 to 1, and that's because the smog valve hose is not plugged yet. The smog valve hose now is plugged. In my earlier video, I showed you where I put the rubber plug in, okay, and that cleans it up off the bottom and makes it, you know, the idle is much better. So what you're going to see is it's actually fuels with the O2 plugged in all stock pretty good. It's between, you know, on the gas it's around 13.8, 13 to 13.8, maybe 14.2, and then at the high revs it gets rich. It'll be down in here, right? So once I do airbox mods, K&N filter, short stacks in the airbox, equalize the stacks, I'll be making some power. So anyway, let's do these pulls and you'll be able to see it now. Again, this is with the 14th Street, not that it makes any difference. That's real nice. With the smog valve still hooked up, it's way up in 18 buried, and it's a little bit of a lumpy idle. That cleans it up, and it doesn't like shut the fuel clear off. So it basically will come off idle better at a stop sign. Even with no fueling, this bike still runs pretty good, to be honest with you. It can run better though, and it will make more power, trust me. So anyway, I'll do a little bit of just cruise. You can kind of see where this does cruise with the O2. The beauty of the O2, it'll pull it back up to the lean condition, you know, 14.7, 14.5, gets super good fuel mileage. When you tune it, you clean everything up, you drop that down in the mid-13s, your fuel mileage is going to go down a little. You probably lose 3 to 4 miles per gallon. Some bikes 5, but they will be more responsive. So I'll let you check that out. Okay, I'm going to let the motor cool down now and I'll be back. Okay guys, I'm just going to do something fun for you here. I'm going to go, I'll show you what the top speed is on this bike in 6th gear when it totally gets into the full rev limiter. So you watch the little digital right here and your tach, but this is the real numbers right here. Not that it would pull it. It would maybe if it was just perfect conditions, perfectly flat, or maybe a slight downhill, it would pull it. Not sure if it would pull it. I know out the test road the other day, I let off way early. I just didn't want to go to jail. So, and it was still pulling plenty hard. So, but it does get into wind resistance, how much power a bike is, period. But I think it'd be kind of interesting. Let's see the number right here in 6th gear when it hits the limit. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. So I think it did, I was trying to see it from over there, I think it did 156. That makes sense. That's pretty good. So, all right, let me get organized here and I'll go through all the runs with you next.